In a world that often glorifies appearance, we must pause and ask, what truly lasts? Beauty may dazzle the eyes, but it fades. It can attract attention for a moment, but it is behavior that holds attention for a lifetime. For a lifetime. The glow of a beautiful face might win someone's glance, but it is the warmth of your kindness, the depth of your respect, and the integrity in your actions that earns their trust, admiration, and love. When we meet people, our first impression might be influenced by how they look, but our lasting impression is shaped by how they treat us. Looks do not guarantee honesty, compassion, or humility. Behavior, however, speaks volumes about one's character. You won't be remembered for your flawless skin, branded clothes, or expensive perfume, but people will never forget how you made them feel, how you stood by them, how you respected them, how you uplifted them. Real respect is earned, not bought. Real beauty is experienced, not just seen. The quote is seen. So let's shift our focus. Let's invest in our behavior, our truthfulness, kindness, generosity, and discipline. Because in the end, beauty fades, but behavior, that's the legacy we leave behind. External beauty changes with time. It can fade due to age, health, or life circumstances. But behavior is rooted in character. The way we treat others remains in their hearts far longer than our appearance remains in their eyes. People may notice your face first, but what they truly remember is how you made them feel. Compassion, respect, and honesty leave a mark deeper than any cosmetic product ever could. Friendships, partnerships, and family bonds survive and thrive on trust, care, and support. Physical attraction may start a connection, but it's behavior, being dependable, loyal, and kind, that sustains it through thick and thin. A person's behavior is a mirror of their internal world. Consistent kindness, patience, and self-control show mental strength and maturity, qualities far more valuable than physical beauty. Looks might bring followers, compliments, or even opportunities, but life is long, and those who are respectful, humble, and helpful find deeper and more lasting success, peace, and fulfillment. Good behavior influences others to act kindly. One respectful act can inspire dozens more. Beauty might turn heads, but good conduct can change hearts, and even change the world in small but powerful ways. As physical features change over time, what remains is how you've treated people. Your smile, your support, your honesty, these become the memories people associate with you. That's your real identity. No one writes eulogies about how someone looked. They talk about who you were, how you lived, and how you loved. Your actions define your legacy, not your wardrobe or your skin tone. Physical beauty is bound by time. No matter how flawless someone looks today, the truth is that age, stress, experiences, and life itself will gradually change that appearance. Wrinkles will come, hair may turn gray or fall out, and the once glowing skin may lose its luster. These are natural processes that no one can escape. In contrast, behavior does not age. A kind heart remains kind through the decades. A respectful tone never goes out of fashion. Humility, patience, and compassion are timeless qualities that never lose their worth. While beauty might win someone's attention quickly, it is behavior that determines how long they'll stay. A person who looks attractive but behaves rudely, arrogantly, or selfishly quickly becomes unpleasant to be around. On the other hand, someone with a simple appearance but a warm and respectful nature becomes someone people want to be close to, work with, and trust. It's easy to admire a face, but it takes depth to admire a soul, and that depth is revealed through consistent positive behavior. People may compliment your beauty on social media or in passing, but they truly remember and talk about your behavior, how you treated them, how you listened, how you supported or disrespected them. Behavior leaves emotional fingerprints that last far longer than any physical feature ever can. When we first meet someone, our brain naturally takes in visual cues, their appearance, clothing, grooming, posture, and overall presentation. These factors form what we call a first impression, and it's true that beauty often captures attention quickly. However, this kind of impression is surface level and short-lived. As the interaction progresses, the focus naturally shifts from how a person looks to how they make us feel through their tone, words, reactions, and emotional presence. presence. A beautiful face might spark admiration, but if it is paired with arrogance, disrespect, or indifference, that admiration quickly turns into disappointment. In contrast, someone who might not have society's definition of beauty but speaks with kindness, listens attentively, shows genuine interest, and offers respect will create a deeper emotional connection. These are the moments people remember long after the conversation ends. Emotions have a powerful memory. You may forget what someone wore or how they looked at a specific moment, but you will never forget the warmth of a kind gesture, the sting of a harsh word, or the comfort of being truly heard. This is why lasting impressions are built not on how a person looks, but on how they behave. Their attitude, empathy, sincerity, and authenticity. Beauty may open a door, but it is behavior that determines whether you're invited to stay. Real connection, trust, and influence are emotional bonds, and these are shaped through how people feel around you, not what they see on the outside. In the beginning, physical attraction can play a role in bringing people together, whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or even social circles. But as time passes, that initial spark fades unless it's supported by something deeper, character. True, meaningful relationships are not built on outer beauty, but on the values, actions, and integrity a person consistently displays. A charming smile may draw someone near, but it cannot replace loyalty during hard times, honesty in difficult conversations, or kindness when tempers flare. Looks do not provide emotional support when someone is struggling. Beauty doesn't wipe away tears, offer words of encouragement, or make sacrifices when things get tough. Those acts come from the heart, and they are driven by a person's character. Whether in friendships, family bonds, or romantic partnerships, trust is the foundation, and trust is not built on appearance. It's built on consistency, respect, patience, and the ability to be there even when things aren't perfect. People who rely only on their looks often find that their relationships are shallow and short-lived. But those who invest in being dependable, caring, and understanding build relationships that can weather any storm. It is also character that allows relationships to grow. It's the willingness to listen, to compromise, to support each other's dreams, and to admit when you're wrong. These traits have nothing to do with how someone looks, but everything to do with who they truly are. In the end, it's not beauty that keeps people together. It's the strength of your values, your morals, and your emotional maturity. The way a person behaves is a direct reflection of what is going on within them. Good behavior doesn't just appear by chance. It is the result of intentional choices, personal discipline, and deep-rooted values. It takes emotional strength to stay calm in stressful situations, to be kind even when others are not, and to act with integrity when no one is watching. This level of consistency requires a person to be in control of their emotions, thoughts, and impulses, which is a clear sign of inner maturity and discipline. When someone behaves respectfully toward others, it shows that they value themselves enough to maintain dignity and composure. People who treat others with kindness, patience, and humility often do so because they have learned to respect their own journey. They don't need to prove themselves through arrogance or superiority. Instead, their self-respect allows them to uplift others without feeling threatened. Moreover, disciplined behavior is not about being rigid or perfect, it's about being accountable and responsible. A person with inner discipline doesn't react emotionally to every situation. They think before they speak, listen before they judge, and act with purpose rather than impulse. This shows not only strength of character, but also a deep commitment to personal growth. In contrast, poor behavior often reflects internal chaos. Rudeness, arrogance, or impatience can signal insecurity, lack of control, or unresolved issues. So when we see someone consistently behaving well, treating people with fairness, showing empathy, being honest even when it's hard, it tells us they have done the inner work. That behavior becomes a mirror reflecting not only how they feel about others, but how they feel about themselves. In today's world, society often puts a spotlight on physical appearance. From social media filters to magazine covers, beauty is glamorized and celebrated, often becoming a standard for popularity and admiration. People who meet these visual standards might receive more likes, more attention, and even more opportunities at first glance. However, this praise is often shallow and temporary, and it rarely holds true value when it comes to the real rewards of life. Life does not measure success by how attractive you look in a photo. It measures it through how you treat people, how you face challenges, and how you carry yourself in difficult moments. Good behavior, like being honest when it's inconvenient, helping others without expecting anything in return, and standing up for what's right, is what builds a meaningful and respected life. These are the qualities that earn trust, open doors for growth, and leave behind a legacy of substance. People may be drawn to beauty, but they stay because of character. Employers hire not just for appearance, but for reliability, integrity, and teamwork. Friendships last not because someone is good looking, but because they are loyal, kind, and supportive. Even in relationships, it's not outer beauty that makes love endure. It's understanding, patience, and emotional support that truly matter. These are the silent rewards that come from good behavior. Good behavior creates long-term respect. While beauty may gain quick applause, it fades in the background when someone's actions speak louder. The person who shows empathy, who listens, who lifts others, and who lives with humility, those are the individuals life tends to reward in the most meaningful ways. Whether it's through deeper relationships, inner peace, or the respect of others, good behavior brings results that no physical appearance can match. One of the most powerful aspects of behavior is its ability to influence not just individuals, but entire communities. Every action we take, no matter how small, sends a message to the people around us. When we choose to act with kindness, patience, honesty, and humility, we unknowingly give others permission and inspiration to do the same. How? This is the ripple effect of behavior. It starts with one person, but it can extend far beyond what we can see. A smile at a stranger, a respectful conversation, a helping hand, or a moment of forgiveness. These simple behaviors can change someone's mood, shift their day, and even alter their perspective on life. In turn, they may pass that same positivity forward to others. Good behavior becomes contagious, creating a chain reaction that spreads throughout families, schools, workplaces, and communities. This ripple effect builds a culture of compassion, understanding, and peace. On a larger scale, societies that value respectful and ethical behavior are more united, safer, and healthier. When people are treated with dignity, when leaders act with integrity, and when individuals take personal responsibility for their actions, the result is a more harmonious world. Behavior, therefore, becomes a silent force shaping the emotional and moral climate of our surroundings. In contrast, negative behavior like disrespect, dishonesty, or cruelty also spreads, but it damages rather than uplifts. It fuels division, resentment, and mistrust. That's why every act of good behavior matters more than we think. Even when we believe no one is watching, our actions can still be influencing someone else's mindset or choices. By choosing to behave with compassion and principle, we don't just elevate ourselves, we elevate everyone we encounter. Physical beauty, no matter how striking, is temporary by nature. Time changes everyone. Features that once stood out will soften, youthful energy will calm, and what once drew compliments may no longer hold the same attention. But what remains, and often becomes even more visible with time, is a person's behavior. This is why, as beauty fades, it is behavior that ultimately defines who we are in the eyes of others. It becomes the true identity people associate with us. As we grow older, people won't recall the sharpness of our jawline or the glow of our skin as much as they'll recall the warmth in our words, the grace in our actions, and the reliability in our presence. They'll remember how we made them feel, whether we showed up when it mattered, whether we respected them in disagreements, and whether we listened without judgment. These are the attributes that don't age. In fact, they often grow stronger and more valuable over time. Behavior is a record of your life's choices and mindset. While looks are inherited or enhanced, behavior is cultivated. It shows your values, your upbringing, your emotional intelligence, and your depth. People form real, lasting opinions about who you are based on how you treat others, not based on your hairstyle, your fashion, or your appearance. Whether it's a friend, a coworker, a partner, or even a stranger, they're more likely to remember the tone of your voice, the consistency of your actions, and the sincerity behind your words than anything related to your physical appearance. In the end, your identity is not what's seen in the mirror, but what's felt in your presence. You become known for your character, for how you navigated life's highs and lows, and for how you carried yourself when no one was watching. That is the identity people cherish, speak of, and carry with them long after your outer beauty fades from view. When our time in this world comes to an end, people don't gather to talk about how attractive we were, how perfect our features were, or how fashionable we dressed. Instead, they reflect on the impact we made through our actions, the values we stood for, and the way we treated others. This is the essence of legacy. It is not sculpted from the physical, but from the moral and emotional imprint we leave behind. Legacy is formed through every choice we make, every conversation we have, and every moment where our behavior either uplifted or harmed someone. A beautiful appearance may earn admiration, but it is behavior, acts of kindness, words of encouragement, displays of courage, and moments of selflessness that build the story people tell about us. Long after our face is forgotten, our legacy lives on in the memories and hearts of those we've touched. Consider the people we admire most in history, in our communities, or even in our families. What makes them unforgettable is not their looks, it's their principles, their strength of character, and how they made a difference in others' lives. They're remembered for being compassionate, just generous, loyal, and inspiring. Their appearance may have faded from photographs or memories, but the echo of their behavior continues to resonate, sometimes across generations. In daily life, every person we encounter becomes part of the audience to our legacy. A simple gesture of honesty, an act of forgiveness, or a moment of standing up for what's right all contribute to the invisible thread that weaves the story of our life. Unlike beauty, which is momentary and often limited by genetics or fashion trends, behavior is within everyone's control and can be cultivated daily. It's the most powerful tool we have to shape how we're remembered. So as we move forward in life, let us shift our focus from trying to impress the eyes to touching the hearts. Let us understand that while beauty may introduce us to the world, it is our behavior that will determine how the world remembers us. Choose kindness over charm, integrity over image, and compassion over compliments. Because in the end, beauty fades, but behavior lives on. That is the true mark of a lasting legacy.